This Good to Go segment is sponsored by Spectrum Health Medical Group.
As the weather starts to warm up, we start spending more time outside soaking up that sunshine, but that does increase the risk of developing skin cancer. Dr. Paul Wright is a surgical oncologist and Chief of Cutaneous Oncology at Spectrum Health. He's here to talk about skin cancer prevention and detection and about Spectrum Health's upcoming free community skin cancer screenings in the month of May. Hi, Dr. Wright.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks for having me.
How common is skin cancer in the U.S.?
It's actually very common. It's the most common form of cancer that there is. Because it affects, almost 1 in 5 people, it's a problem that really affects the health of our community.
Are there certain folks who are at greater risk?
Yeah, there are. Most of the risk factors relate to UV exposure. And so people who have had a lot of sun exposure in their life, whether it's at work, whether they've spent a lot of time at the beach or on their boats, any form of increased UV exposure does increase your risk for skin cancer. We also see this for people that have used tanning beds. And we also see it for people who have various conditions that suppress their immune system, which can also put you at risk for skin cancer development.
What about certain ethnic groups?
Yeah, so skin cancer is more common in fairer-skinned individuals. That's one of the risk factors as well. And so it certainly is, more common in Caucasian individuals, but it's not exclusive, to that population. And one of the unfortunate things is for darker-skinned individuals that oftentimes it's not detected until a later stage because it doesn't stand out as starkly, as something that's abnormal, as these are often darkly pigmented spots. And in darker skinned individuals, they happen in abnormal areas on the body, like the palms of the hand, soles of the feet, and other places where you don't think to look for skin cancer necessarily.
Let's talk prevention. Obviously, protection in the sunshine, right?
Right, yeah. So if UV exposure is the risk, any way that you can protect yourself from UV exposure is important. Using an SPF 30 or higher sunscreen, if you're going to be out for more than 2 hours or in the water, certainly reapply after those times. Avoiding tanning beds for certain, using UV protective clothing, hats in the sun help, particularly with the face and head and neck. And so using sort of those common sense prevention measures can go a really long way.
What about treatments? What types of treatment are there?
So the treatment for skin cancer can vary a lot depending on the type. Most of the time, there's some sort of surgical procedure that's involved, and it can be something that's very, very minor and happens in the office. And for other types of skin cancer that can be more aggressive, that might be a trip to the operating room to get that solved.
Can you give me a quick rundown of the different types?
Yeah, absolutely. The two most common are basal cell carcinoma and squamous cell carcinoma. Those happen very frequently. Fortunately, they very rarely spread and are not aggressive in most cases and can be treated. Thankfully, we have a great contingent of board-certified dermatologists in the area that take care of most of those problems. The more aggressive forms of skin cancer are things like melanoma, which is sort of the notorious, bad behavior. And that tends to require a little bit more aggressive surgical treatment. And we have some other things that are available for later stage patients as well. And then there's some other rare types that we see here at the Spectrum Health Cancer Center as well.
Spectrum Health is offering some free skin cancer screenings. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is part of the Spot Me initiative, which is put on by one of the dermatologic societies. These are happening May 24 to 26 at various Spectrum Health regional locations. And we've partnered with our local dermatologists who have volunteered their time to help, to improve our community health. What we're looking for is if you have a spot on your skin that you're concerned about, that you want to have checked out, you can come, walk-ins only, no appointments necessary. And one of our dermatology colleagues will have a look at that spot.
Phone number to call if folks have questions. It is 616-267-2049, right there on the screen, 616-267-2049. Dr. Wright, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine.